right, our 5 minutes are up. I think we have enough people in the stream now. Enough people. Everybody has watched the trailer, I'm assuming. If not, oh, sorry, we're gonna watch the trailer right now. So if you haven't, peace out. Who still plays Battlefront? This guy right here with the thumbs. I don't really stream it as much as I did before, but I play it and I like it. Oh, someone says he's ready. I'm out. Fangfire, you can blame him if you guys aren't ready, but here we go. Let's do it. This is the only time I watch the trailers. Like, I don't like go over and just like go over every image and like try to figure out like all the clues and stuff like that. I think that might be a better way of doing it. Just watching the trailer the one time, the one day, like it comes out, and then just stop thinking about it, go to the movie and just watch it. But yeah, this is a good trailer, but I want to hear from you guys, or if I miss anything that you think I should talk about, let me know in the comments right now. Antoine, the stream is audio back. Finally, what the fuck? Oh, there was no audio the whole time? Oh my god. Bro, your mic was muted the whole time. Oh my goodness. Everybody's like, no audio. What a fail. What a fail. Let's pretend it never happened. Hey guys, welcome to my stream. We're going to talk about the Rogue One trailer. This is just my raw emotions about the trailer. Just my first look of the trailer. But this is not an Easter egg channel. We do not go in looking at like every frame and talking about what that could be from and blah, 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 blah. As I already said before, this first image, not much can be said about it. I mean, just cool image. It has Imperial starships going by, you know, setting up the tone. I think this is the new planet Jeddah. And what they said in the panel at Star Wars Celebration or Comic-Con, I can't remember which one, was that this planet has a sect of people who are like worshippers of the Force. In the new canon, there is actually a church of the Force. Like after the Jedi left, there was these group of people who like still believed in the Force, kind of like the church that we have now. Like we don't really have gods that live among us or anything like that, but we still have people who worship those gods that used to exist. Kind of like with the Jedi. You know, the Jedi are no longer around, so now we have people who are kind of like worshiping the Jedi, even though they don't have like an actual deity that's on Earth that they can see. And I think that would be cool if that is the case, because that will tie from the original trilogy to the new trilogy. So I think that's cool. That's what I think about this first image, just to talk about that real quick. Oh, I can't believe I didn't record. Oh, okay, let me pause on this real quick. Now, for you guys who are not familiar, this guy, his name's Saw Gerrera. He was revealed, I believe, a few days before Star Wars Celebration. He exists in Clone Wars, the original, not the animated series, not the 2D series that I know and love back in the day, the original Clone Wars, but the Star Wars, the Clone Wars CGI series. He was in season 5, I think, of Star Wars Clone Wars, and he was a like extremist rebel, like to the extreme. And when Gareth Edwards says that he had this character, Pablo Hidalgo and the story group were like, hey, we have a character perfect for that. We have this guy named Saw Gerrera that you can totally use, and he totally would fit in the scope of this character. The only thing that's kind of off, and I think they might have fixed that, because his eyes look a little bit blue, or am I just crazy? Because they look a little bit blue to me in the screen there. But in the show, his eyes are blue, and you know he's much younger. But I think this is the first time we ever had an animated character come to the live action scope of things. Like that's really awesome. You know, Ahsoka Tano hasn't been live action yet. You know, I mean, of course we have like Anakin and Obi-Wan, but they've already been in the story. I mean, somebody who actually derived from an animated series. This is the first time we have someone going live action. It's great to have stuff like this because it really validates the continuity of this world. Like it's one thing to have like comic books and novels, like, but that always feels like it's kind of not really the same thing. But to have it like actually be validated in this live action context, this character, I think is pretty awesome. And I think they chose the perfect character to be, you know, heading up this like rogue mission. You know, I think that is cool. And Forrest Whitaker, I mean, he's Forrest Whitaker. You know, what more can you say? That guy's a powerhouse, you know. Oscar nominee. I don't think he's an Oscar winner. I think he's just an Oscar nominee, but I could be wrong. He could be a winner. Can we pause here? Cool. This is cool. I like this image. It's a cool image of just, you know, an Imperial compound on this planet. Of course, what Saw Gerrera is saying right now in the voiceover is that, you know, Imperial flags are everywhere. Like they're just permeating the galaxy. They're just controlling everything. And then, we have this image here, and we know that their mission, of course, for you guys who don't know the premise, I mean, you guys should know the premise of Rogue One, but it's about stealing the Death Star plans, and that's what this whole thing's about. It's cool, to hear that and to see that and to really because the thing about the original trilogy is that you didn't really see how the Empire affected people, like how it affected the people of the galaxy. Like you get a lot of that if you read some of the expanded universe books, but in terms of the movies, you don't really get the feel of why is the Empire so evil, except for blowing up a whole planet. But the issue about blowing up a whole planet is that you can't identify with any individual or any single person, versus if you have these individual people who are dealing with the Empire in their own way. I think that's much more significant than having a very broad war, because that's all we really saw is this really broad war, but we didn't see how it the day to day and how it affects people. And I think we might get a little bit of that here in live action form, which I enjoy quite a bit. Lucasfilm, I hear they make pretty good movies. This here is Jyn Erso. Hold on, let me pause on. Can we pause here? Can we pause here, please? No, no, we don't want to do that. Oh, by the way, this happened in my stream before when I apparently wasn't talking. Safari sucks. I'm using Safari right now because I have to, because OBS was not capturing Chrome. That's neither here nor there. In any case, I recommend Google Chrome. Safari sucks. Never use it. I love Apple and their stuff. Just don't like Safari. Okay, cool. So we have this here. We have Dodonna over here. We got Mon Mothma. We have other people who I do not know their names, though I think I know this person's name has been confirmed somewhere. And we have Jyn Erso. The cool thing about her is that she is kind of like this scoundrel. She's like if the Rebel Alliance hired Han Solo to steal the Death Star plans, basically. But the extra caveat on that is that Jyn Erso is actually the son of Captain Krennic, who is the guy with the white cloak, the Grand Admiral, and all that kind of stuff. Krennic isn't her father? I thought he was her father. Oh, sorry about that. I thought in the panel they said that Krennic was Jyn Erso's father. Galen Erso, the guy that they haven't shown in the trailers yet. That's right. They have a lot of screenshots for him, but not the final trailer. And that has another dynamic to it, is that she actually has origins within the Empire, so she has, maybe she might know some inside stories or some inside secrets about the Empire. And also we might have to question her loyalty to the mission if she actually will go through with it. So that's cool. I mean, I like this. I don't think we got a lot of story in this trailer. I don't think we got a lot of deep stuff from it. We just got more imagery and maybe a little bit snippet of story. But with this being a full trailer and the first official trailer, I think we should have got a little bit more story to it. I mean, but then again, the story itself is pretty simple. It's pretty much just steal the Death Star plans and then that's it. So, I mean, you can't ask too much for it, but I thought we could add a little bit more story. Oh, and this. Oh, can we stop right here? Okay, there are some visual effects in here that are amazing. But then there's also some visual effects in this trailer that we see that isn't so great, that I wasn't so hot about. But this looks like the original model from A New Hope from 1977. Not to be that hipster guy who's oh, models are better. They're just so much better. But I mean, they kind of, in ways, they kind of are. There are places where they don't look very good, but then stuff like this, where you're doing a starship with all this detail, models trump it. And then this is confirmed. This is all CGI, and they did a very, very, very good job of replicating this. But then I get a bad taste in my mouth because we get this shot coming up. Hold on, I'm gonna show you right now. Right here, if I can stop this. We have this, which looks really bad. It looks really it looks very prequel trilogy visual effects bad. Now I knew that this is it's something that's for the trailer, and this is probably not how it's gonna look from the start of the what can I say? From the very start, I lost my train of thought. This is not how it's going to look, basically, in the final, or I hope this is not what it's going to look like. Usually in trailers, they put out visual effects that are incomplete, and I hope that's the case here, because I don't like this. I think that I look at the previous shot of the Star Destroyers, and I'm like, that looks real. That looks awesome. And then I look at this, and I'm like, doesn't look as real. But you can't get too critical of it, like I said before. But it kind of took me aback a little bit. Also, side note, I am almost certain this is Yavin 4. These are the temples. In Legends continuity, these actually were previously Jedi temples. There is a story also about Exar Kun actually like haunting one of these temples, and like there's these Jedi who try to vanquish him and blah blah blah. Legends continuity. But I don't know if in canon it's been reconfirmed as being Jedi temples or some sort of Jedi enclave. But that is what it was in the Legends, and I'm pretty sure this is Yavin, which is pretty cool, right? This has to be Yavin. Yeah, it has to be Yavin, which is where the main base is, which makes sense. Oh, also, not just Mon Mothma being confirmed, because obviously she's in the trailer, but also Bail Organa has been confirmed to be in this film, like actually, physically, live action in this film, and the same guy who was in Revenge of the Sith and Attack of the Clones, so that's pretty awesome. Side note, not that big of a deal, but let's go to the next shot. So there's a stark difference between the previous shot that we had and then this shot here. I feel like the other shot was very artificial. It didn't feel very real. But then we get inside this cockpit, and then cockpit. That's a strange word, cockpit. Okay, Antoine, mature. Just be mature. You see this inside, and you see the natural sunlight coming through the canopy. You got this blowout here. I think it's really nice. It's really weird to have the really bad visual effect and then have this, and it's obviously it's gonna be practical because you have actors and things like that. But it's I think that really highlights the difference between having practical stuff versus the CG stuff. So you can really feel it, and there's a feeling that you get from just watching someone being in an actual space versus seeing a computer generated image. But again, I'm ranting about that. Let's just continue about the trailer. Oh, right now we have Captain Kazian saying he's been recruiting for a while, and I just had a thought that it would have been awesome if his character would have been like Hera Syndulla from the Rebels TV series, which I generally enjoy. I didn't really like season 2 all that much, but I do like it overall as a series. I do understand why those characters would not show up here, because they have an ongoing story right now that we want to see unfold. And that's part of the TV series. We can't have that ruined by Rogue One and seeing where they end up. So I understand it from that standpoint, from a story standpoint. But I think it still would be awesome if we saw maybe a Sabine who's oh, I'm recruiting for the Rebel Alliance now, or Hera oh, I'm recruiting for the Rebel Alliance. That would have been cool. But again, that's a small thing, whatever. This character here, his name is Boz Baze. It's spelled B-A-Z-E, Boz Baze. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. I like what he says here. He's they destroyed our homes, so he has a personal vendetta against the Empire, and that's been a constant theme within Star Wars about the Empire. The Empire is cool, in the sense that they do have order, which is something that the Republic did not have, because you always had these people who were constantly being corrupt. At first it started off as a good democracy, they try to decide things, but then it became corrupt and people were being bought off and things like that. But the Empire does their order way too much, to the point where they do enslavement or forced labor. They just kill off people and that kind of a thing. And that's what usually makes people defect from the Empire and want to rebel against them. And that's with any empire. You see it in history. If you push too hard, if you oppress people too hard, they will eventually fight back. They will fight back, and this will happen. And that's always been a continual theme, in Star Wars. In terms of the new canon, it's happened in Lost Stars, it's happened here. We see it in Rebels, of course. But I like that. We're seeing this personal vendetta bring something like I said before. We're seeing individual stories affect the larger, broader war, and I like that about this movie. So I think that's all I had to say about that. Let's continue. Okay, we're going to go a little bit of a rant here. If you guys will remember, when Donnie Yen was first announced, we didn't know what movie he was going to be in, but it was announced or rumored that he will be playing a Jedi character. Now, the thing that caught me about Rogue One, first and foremost, at that first panel that no one went to for some reason, in Celebration 2015, when Gareth Edwards came out and talked about Rogue One, he said specifically these words: God is no longer here to save us. And those words just hit me Hit me in the heart. Because it's true, like for the past millennia, the Jedi have always been like these god figures that have fought for the Republic and defended, and now they're gone, like completely wiped out, extinct, except for a few people, of course. And now it's time for just regular species, regular Togruta, regular Twi'leks, humans, to go out and fight their own fight. But then you see this guy who is one blind and talking about the Force like he's like, I fear nothing. Everything is how the Force wills it. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So are you a Jedi? Are you a Force sensitive? Like, what's happening here? And I hope not. But it's the only explanation I can think of for there being a blind guy who can fight people with like precognition, pretty much. I mean, we can't explain it as like it's just Donnie Yen, and Donnie Yen's awesome. It's kind of like those Chuck Norris, like, oh, Chuck Norris, and there you go. Like, he's Donnie Yen. Of course he can like fight these guys off. And of course there are people, human beings, who can like, fight and stuff like that. But like him talking about the Force, him being blind, makes me think of Force sensitive. And I hope that's not the case, because that will cheapen the reason I was into this franchise, or into specifically this movie, this story, in the first place. And that was that I wanted to see just regular people fighting their own battles, not having, these Jedi fighting for them. And I hope not. But I mean, like, all this stuff that's happening, I'm like, I don't know, not too sure about it. But Donnie Yen being awesome, so yeah. I love this right here. He says, the captain says you're a friend, so I will not kill you. Again, this is definitely an HK-47. I'm not saying it's a direct replica of that, but for people who've played KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic, they know off the bat, if they ever see like a droid who is like, semi-murderous or psychotic, same with 000. If you guys are reading the Darth Vader Marvel comics, which I do reviews of on this channel, if you want to check those out, it's like anytime that happens, even a little bit, someone's like, HK-47, which I kind of do as well. I mean, we also have this new guy. I think his name is Z2S0250. I'm sure I'm getting that wrong, but droid name of some sort. At the end of this trailer, he talks about there being a like a percentage of a success or fail rate. I can't remember what it was. And he... that's kind of like C-3PO in a way. So they have like the protocol droid, and they have also the HK-47 hunter killer droid vibe going on. But I like that, I like that humor, especially because, also just to make a note, he is an Imperial droid, and he was reprogrammed to be good, basically. I mean, of course, there's always going to be a droid's core programming, which is very difficult to adjust. But right now, at least he's still kind of murderous and like still like an Imperial droid, but he is at least fighting for the Rebel Alliance now. So I think he'll be cool. He'll probably have a lot of cool jokes. I know there's one point, a scene that they showed at Celebration where he's like holding someone's gear, like they give it to him, and they think he's like a servant droid, and he's like, and just drops it. It's like, what? I'm not holding this meat bag. Hopefully they don't say meat bag. If they say meat bag, then it's the HK-47 ripoff. But yeah, let's continue. And this, oh my God, can I pause right here? Oh my God, my Safari, you suck. You suck so bad. You suck so bad. Pause. That's just beautiful. Let's just everybody, moment of silence for this beautiful image. I mean, look at that. This is amazing. That is amazing. I don't know if this is Tatooine or what planet this is that we're looking at right now. But this is just a good... I mean, it might be the planet that we saw earlier in the trailer where we saw the Imperial compound, which is probably where they're going to steal the Death Star plans from. But this is just... nothing else can be said. It just looks great. Let's continue. And I like that they have that. They have the Death Star eclipsing the sun. That was pretty cool. This is Captain Krennic, father of Jyn Erso, Grand Admiral of the Imperials. I think he's a Grand Admiral. I'm not sure for sure. Again, we didn't really get any lines from him. I kind of hoped we did hear something from him, like maybe got a scene from him or something, but we didn't get really anything. And that's what I was saying about this trailer. It's kind of thin on the story front. Like, yeah, we got our action shots, we got a little bit of lines and voiceovers here and there, but not really. Like, I wanted more. I wanted a little bit more story from this trailer. Just a little bit more. Just a little bit, not a lot. Just a little bit more. Like, especially from the Imperial side, because like these are the main antagonists of the movie, so I would want to see more from them. war shots. We're actually seeing a Star War for once. It's awesome. This was dope. Oh yeah, right here. So the droid says there's a 90. Oh, did he say 97% or 9.6%? Oh, let me see. Oh yeah, 97.6% of failure. And of course, Captain Kaznian says he means well, which is cool. That was a cool little line. I hope he. And again, that's another harken back to C-3PO on the Millennium Falcon, Empire Strikes Back, where he's like, "Oh, navigating a asteroid field, that's like impossible." And then Han Solo's like, "Never tell me the odds." Love that. Empire Strikes Back, easily my favorite movie. Best humor, best. I'm not gonna talk about that. It's awesome. Cool. We have another Imperial here too. Another person who seems to be defecting to the Rebel Alliance. Off topic here. This gentleman here, amazing actor. For my adult audiences out there, this guy is on the show, this HBO miniseries called The Night of. Literally, if you're over the age of 18 or if your parents don't care if you watch mature content, please watch this. Off topic to Star Wars, but it's an amazing show. He's the main character in it. Great show. Watch it. Let's continue. Oh, and I love this, and I love this. I love this so much. I love this. And I'm going to tell you why I love this. I love this because when I first watched this trailer, I thought that he was going to just, it was going to explode. Like, I was like, oh, okay, he's going to shoot his grenade at it or his rocket launcher, and the AT-AT is going to just, typical blockbuster trailer explosion, right? But then, like, it doesn't make it explode, and I was like, yes, they got it right, because AT-ATs are, like, indestructible. I mean, they're that way for a reason. Like, they're tanks, they're actually supposed to be able to take that kind of stuff. And I was so glad to see it just go like, ooh, like just get hit on the side, ooh, like that, and not actually explode in like a million pieces. Like a very small touch, but a touch that I very much enjoyed. Like, I love that about this shot. Like, I was fully expecting this to just go kapoof, but it didn't, and it's amazing. Good touch. And this is cool. Like, we're just getting more Star Wars stuff. And that's the thing I wanted to touch on at the beginning of the trailer, or the talking of the trailer. We have Star Wars again, and like live action stuff. And we're still to the point where it hasn't been oversaturated quite yet. So we haven't been like, oh, I'm so jaded. Oh, Star Wars is coming out again this year. We're still at the point where we're like dewy-eyed and like our eyes are glazed over and it's all that stuff. This is cool. Like just seeing a lot of new Star Wars imagery in live action form, like, because you can have novels and comic books, but those never really feel like the same continuity all the time, like unless the comic book or the novel is done really, really well. Live action is just easier to do because just saying things in flesh and blood, like, that's a different thing entirely. And that's why movies, I think, are the most influential and the most grand piece of entertainment today. TV and movies, not just live action material in general, I think are always going to be the most prolific thing in our society. And just having more Star Wars, I think, is awesome. And I think we should take a moment to just really appreciate, at least at the beginning, before we get jaded with all the Star Wars stuff that's going to be coming, how awesome this is. Just that we, like, there was a time where we thought George Lucas was not going to do any more movies, like no more movies whatsoever. And now he is. I mean, not that he is. He sold it off to Disney, and Disney's like, we're going to rack in that money, and they're giving us a bunch of Star Wars, which is cool. Like, and I like that we have these little side stories, and that we have, like I was saying before, I felt like the original Star Wars movies weren't ever about what was really wrong with, I mean, it was more just about the war, but not why the war became a thing. Like, we do have stuff like Luke Skywalker, he sees his aunt and uncle burnt, at the stake. We see little things like that. But I think we're going to get a little bit more of it here. I mean, we still might just get like a pure just like action thing, and we're not going to get a lot of insight into like what the Empire is really doing and why people really hate them. But it seems like it's a step in the right direction. I like that we're just getting more Star Wars stuff. So yeah. Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Now, here's the thing. The shot, in and of itself, is awesome because it's like, oh yay, we're getting Vader, yeah, it's confirmed. Look, he's right there, live action. But now this is gonna sound like a nitpick because it really is. It's a nitpick. I don't think this is the best framing or the best image they could have come up with. I would have preferred seeing a little bit of his face, like maybe just a side thing going on, and just maybe even some backlight. Like I wish they had some backlight like going around his helmet and stuff. Like we can't really separate him from the background of the screen, and maybe that's what they were going for. They wanted to be ominous. They just wanted him to be sucked into the background. I'm just saying, if I would direct it just this one shot, I would have directed it differently. And I like that they have in the background, they have the Death Star and they have him breathing and stuff like that, but we could have saw a little bit more. But putting that nitpick aside, it's still awesome. We get Vader. The thing I hope about most with Vader is that we have modern Vader kicking butt. Not too much butt. I don't want him going in there just slicing people like they're nothing. I want to see a force choke. Maybe a force choke and a pull into his lightsaber and he stabs somebody in the gut. I want to see that, you know? And the main reason I want to see that really is because I feel like there's two camps of Darth Vader fans. There's the people who think that Vader is a completely broken robot man who can barely move. He's not that great and he sucks. And then there's other people who are like, oh my God, no, he's like Vader. He's the most powerful Sith ever. And I side more with the broken side, but I hope that the modern version, like for instance, the Ahsoka Tano versus Darth Vader fight in Rebels Season 2, I think was the best representation of what Vader is. He is a master fighter who is constricted by his physicality, but he still makes up for that. Like he makes up for his ailments and that kind of thing. But I don't think he is the most powerful Sith as some other people tend to paint him as. He is definitely that's the point of Vader. He is a broken version of what he could have become. He's a broken version of what he was. That's why Sidious wants to replace him with Luke, who was basically Anakin Skywalker before he became Vader in the suit. But in this modern version, I want to see him get his due credit as a more able-bodied villain in a physical way. I mean, we might just get him standing around, just being like, "Go get the plans" or whatever. But I hope not. I hope we get a little bit of action from him, just a little bit. At least turn on his lightsaber. Can we get that, please? Oh, and by the way, I do want to actually make a video about Vader. I want to do a video about if Vader is broken or if he's powerful, and like explain the two facets of that mindset and which one is more true to the continuity and the lore of Star Wars. But yeah, that is it. Now, that is what I did last time, and I forgot to do it. Now we're gonna go to the comments. What do you guys want to talk about? What do you guys say? What are you guys talking about? How much friends do you have? I don't know. I have a lot of friends. How many friends do you have? Vader with 10 minutes of showtime, like 2 minutes of combat would be enough and awesome. Yes, I agree. Like, we don't need that much time. Not even 10 minutes. I think we can have him talking for 2 minutes and have him have 30 seconds of just solid action. Boom. We're good. Rogue One is a prequel? It is. It is a prequel. No sound? No, you're lying. I know you're lying. You're trolling me right now. There is a sound. Originally in Rebels Season 2, Maul was supposed to be killed by Vader. That would have been awesome because I think Maul needs to leave the franchise entirely. I mean, in my mind, he's already out, but yeah. Is Vader Anakin Skywalker? Is that a troll question? I think that's a troll question. That beach planet, would you vacation there if it were real? No, not with all those ATs there. No, definitely not. Who are you most excited for in Rogue One? Character-wise, I would say I am most looking forward to Donnie Yen. I want to know more about Donnie Yen. Is the blind man a Jedi? That's what I'm talking about. Is he a Jedi? I don't know. Is he a Jedi? I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. I don't know. Who is the character in the movie taken from Rebels? It is the character played by Forrest Whitaker. He is Saw Gerrera. He's the black guy with the afro. He's from the Clone Wars. I say 90% of the characters are dead by the end of the movie. I'm sure it's gonna be like a bittersweet ending. Like, it's like, we got the plans to the princess, but we ourselves are dead. Like, I think it's gonna be one of those kind of things for sure. Yay! Star Wars website databank says Donnie Yen is not force sensitive. Hooray! Awesome. I'm happy for that. Would you prefer the movie to be more dark or more good guy prevailing? No, I mean, it has to be dark. You know, they're doing a suicide mission basically, so it has to be dark. Trailer needs more Jar Jar. What do you think, Antoine? I say get out. With that talk, get out. Do you think Sabine will be in the movie? I don't think so. I think they really should have put some more Rebels characters in the movie, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Is Jyn Erso force sensitive? I'm pretty sure she's not. TCW over micro series. No, I don't agree with that. Don't agree with that. I want most of the characters to die. That is really messed up. Unless you mean from like a narrative standpoint, you think that's a better thing narrative, then yeah. What do you think about the visual feel of the film? I love the look of the planets. Yeah, I agree. I like the look. I think it has a very solid look for Star Wars. Nothing came out to me except for that one really bad CGI starship that I talked about midway through the trailer. But yeah, no. Would you rather see a Han Solo movie or Obi-Wan movie? Easy. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Easy. Ahsoka's dead. She ain't having no cameo. And I don't care what you guys say. I hate that ending so much. I might do an entire video about the ending they did for Ahsoka Vader fight. Like, I think it was so stupidly ambiguous. Didn't like it. Antoine, why was the Death Star backwards? What do you mean backwards? Is it really a backwards for the Death Star? You know what I mean? Like, what do you consider the front? The laser beam? Is that the front? What do you think of the Star Destroyer shots? I mentioned those before, and I liked it. Really, really liked it. I just didn't like the starship that was coming up from Yavin 4. Any news on bounty hunters in the story, like Boba Fett or Cad Bane? There are nothing. I know that was the original like rumor that there would be some bounty hunters in here, but nah. Oh, upside down, not backwards. Because I think the way the image we saw it was weird. All right, cool. I think that is it. Yeah, I think it was a solid trailer. Someone mentioned that it was a masterpiece. I don't think it was a masterpiece. We have to like give masterpiece is a lofty word that we have to give to lofty things. I don't think this was a lofty trailer. It was a solid trailer, but it wasn't. It was not a great. I mean, it was a great trailer. It was a very good trailer, but it wasn't a masterpiece trailer. I don't think it wasn't a masterpiece. But yeah, that's it. That's it. Thank you guys for watching the trailer with me. I'll post this up on YouTube in a little while. Oh, I can't believe I wasn't recording for the half of it. Anyway, guys, peace, love, and force be with you always.